10 seconds in dog years. Awesome. Hello, Furality Legends. Oh, this is awesome. We are back. Okay. Welcome to our panel, the VRChat dances and event hosting, the ReeeDux. Pardon the fox pun. Hello. I'm Roxy. On my left, I've got Roxy from Placeholder. I've got Valiant Novolite, super famous DJ, and also member of the Furality staff. And then on my right, I have Misho Floofy Kit, or Mano Kit, whichever one he's feeling like that day, from Vibe Night. And hello and welcome to our panel. And I just had a power hit. I heard my backup batteries beep for a moment there. Great day. Please, buy backup batteries. They're the best thing. They'll save your computers. So yes, welcome. So let's get into intros. So hello again. I'm Roxy. You're going to know me this time around for Furality Legends. I'm on the club team. I am the acting stream lead. I'm coordinating all of the people that are doing like the crowd cams in the club, doing their schedules and getting everybody together through our upstream up to our switchers and out to, you know, getting it out to the web and into the club and all that. It's been crazy. We've already been going since 11 a.m. for me, so we've been going for 7 hours now. It's been a wild ride. So other stuff. I do want to give a big shout out to M-Blade. A lot of you know M-Blade also. He would be here, but he's got IRL work going on. He popped in for a little bit earlier, got to say hi to us, and then he was off back to work. So let me continue on. Other stuff. I was a member of the CrowdCam team during Furality Luma. I was one of the camera operators then. A lot of you will probably really know me, though, from Tailbase. Nicknamed the Tech Fox, right? I jokingly call myself like second banana to M-Blade for like the last 6 months or so. I've been coordinator. I do stream and tech operation stuff. I'll set up any additional like tech for facilitating stream feeds, like making a relay server to get like feeds between DJs and a master OBS instance. Some of you also might even know me from Hex Furry Fest. I've been the acting stream lead for all the 2021 events so far. So that's me. Let me pass it over to Roxy.
Hello, I'm Roxy. I am the owner and organizer of Placeholder Club. I'm a DJ, and I was a DJ judge for Furality Legends.
All right, Misho.
Hey everyone, my name is Misho, and I am the owner and stream operator of Vibe Night. Along with this, I am also a DJ that plays for Vibe Night and other events.
And Valiant.
Hey guys, I'm Valiant. I am the DJ coordinator for Furality. It's been wonderful to have you all here. I hope that you are having an amazing con and that you will continue to have an amazing con too. As well, I'm a DJ. It's just, you know, kind of been going on this journey with a lot of these organizers, a lot of these DJs. I'm sure a lot of you have been to these other events, you know, like Tailbase, Vibe Night, Placeholder Club. It's just amazing to see this community grow. So can't wait to see more of it.
So, yep, I'm the only one here, not a DJ. What? I'm the loser of the group.
We'll teach you. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Someone's gonna help me. So, let me get my brains back for a second here. Very cool. So, kind of, we're. Originally, this panel was going to kind of start out as me doing like a redux of the panel from Luma that M-Blade and I did. I was going to have a chance to get like, maybe I'll just do like a little bit more technical. Maybe we'll, I was thinking, oh, I'll show people with some visual aids or videos or something like, here's some of the ways I set up like stream servers. Like, here, let's pick a flavor of Linux. Maybe we'll get into some command line. Let me show you this GitHub project. And then at one point, I was talking to Lime, and he's our switcher during the EU block, going on right now for the club, and he was just like, don't do that. Don't get too technical, don't get too in the weeds, you're going to bore everybody to death. Also around this time, what was awesome though is I'm just like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. For not too long ago, I've met a bunch of these guys. I've bumped into and coordinated and worked with like Valent on a number of times. He's DJ'd at Tailbase and a few other events, including my birthday back in September. Thank you for being one of my birthday DJs. And then I've also met like Kuruxa, and I met Misho, and I'm just like, okay, hold on a second. I need to tap these guys. We need to talk about our experiences and how like some of the community run operations go on. And so that's what this panel has evolved into and what we're going to get into. So I'm not here talking all day and rambling anxiously here. So what we're talking about, what are we here for? So the biggest question, how do we host a dance night? So the biggest thing is establish a hub and coordinate attendees and DJs. So I'm going to lead in with Tailbase a little bit here. So just a little bit of history with Tailbase. Tailbase originally started after the first Furality, which is known as Furality 2020. It was as a way to continue having like an active music and dance night community in VRChat, specifically, furry dance community. And that was all started up by M-Blade. M-Blade's been there with Dalton and Aloe and all the other staffers that originally started that first Furality. And M-Blade's like, I want to keep doing this. I'm having a good time. And so Tailbase and the Discord and everything was born. So they set up the Discord. That is our community hub. Come on, scroll for me. There we go. And recently, we actually, oh my gosh, maybe a month and a half ago, I think at this point, we got our 1,000th member. It was bouncing back and forth at like between 990 and 1,000 for weeks, and we're just like, and then it finally happened. We're over 1,000. It's awesome. Please, by the way, if anyone's been making a joke rumor, or maybe it's a bad idea for me to say this and it's starting now, Tailbase is not dead. We're on a pseudo hiatus. M-Blade has been working a lot, and me myself, actually, I have been in like coordinator like burnout recovery. Like as you guys know, for the better part of a year or so, I've put like a bunch of just my own time for fun and everything into like helping on the back end of events and everything. And so I was like, after I did my birthday stuff, I was kind of like, I need a break for a little bit. I need to reserve my energy because I was offered the chance to be basically the coordinator for the crowd cam team. And I was like, all right, I need to get back in the game. So, all right. Now, Tailbase, we do have a website. Really, it's up there. It has links pointing to like our Twitter, a Twitch stream that we use sometimes, and of course our Discord. Let's see. So basically, how we primarily use the Discord. Basically everything our hub is the Discord. So we've got things like channels for announcements, listing active Twitch streams, and then also like VRChat instance links. We've got additional channels for DJs to chat in, coordinators to chat in, and just general chat and off topic and memes and stuff, and all the usual, the typical things. Let's see. What was it? And so one of the things we also set up along the way was a Tailbase VRChat account. You might recognize him as the always dancing, frenetic, crazy Tailbase Tatum, and basically we set that up initially as an easy way for people to, if you friend him, a lot of times we will put him in an instance, usually the first instance or sometimes the second instance, to split things up if one instance gets too full. So new people joining off of him have a quick way in. They don't have to, open up vrchat.com in the browser, click on the link, send themselves the invite link into VRChat, the whole thing. So we set that up. Now, the coolest thing that we've done with him just a number of months back, he now acts as a portable animated camera system that can be used as like a crowd cam feed. So we can set that crowd cam feed up for ourselves on our like master OBS switch, or we can make that feed available to a DJ so they can ingest that and put that into their whole overlay and scene setup themselves. and just this. Some people have probably heard me say this. Mblade and I do intend to make a public version of the Tailbase avatar with the camera system built in, so anybody can add it to their account or make an extra account and literally have a portable crowd cam system that they could take into their events. That's where we want to go with them next. Because right now, for a lot of folks, the only way to get some kind of crowd cam feed is either use their personal account, or a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes an actual world. For example, Club O, in its DJ deck, it has a way for someone to snap themselves to like a camera feed system that's built into the world. Again, that's built into the world. You can't take it with you. And so, yeah, I'm going to now hand it over to Karuxa to talk about Placeholder Club.
Well, thank you, Roxy. It's like Placeholder Club sort of spawned from Tailbase, and it was sort of something we created to bring a sort of club scene back into our kind of time zones. We started at the end of June this year, I believe our first event was, and now we're sat at around 300 members. And we're like you, we work out of mainly Discord while having a website that provides access to the Discord and countdown information towards the next event. And we follow a schedule of bi-weekly events. So we'll have 2-week break and then sometimes a party in the off week, but it's become a bit much to do that recently. And the way we differ from Tailbase is we don't use live DJs. We use pre-recorded DJ audio that we run through a live visualizer. And that allows us to have a much simpler sort of setup, and it allows us to have our DJs in the world to enjoy the party with everybody else, and they don't have to be out of VR. We run a crowd cam stream as well, but ours is thanks to our world that we use, because we use a single world Club Orion, and it has a similar setup with a panning camera that goes all over the place. And what we can do is just put our bot there, and it just stares into the screen and streams it onto Twitch for people that can't attend, that can watch, so they can watch stream. But outside of pre-recorded, there's not too much different. We're just a lot smaller and a lot newer. But yeah,
it can be said they're in the European time zones too, which Tailbase is. I believe that most of it was in the U.S. time zones. It's actually something that I know Mblade talked about a lot too, about wanting to get a club in the European time zones too, because it's pretty inconvenient for the Europeans to have to come to us, because they're up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, whereas when they're when it's their prime time, it's like the afternoon for us, the late afternoon, which Saturday morning, it's not a big deal. That just means that we have to get on a little bit earlier as opposed to them staying up super late.
Yeah, it can be a lot staying up for American events.
Yeah, time zone is always one of the things sort of working against us in some sense, because we want to, we've had that where we want to start an event at like, I'm in the Eastern time zone of the U.S., and so like something that starts at 6 o'clock for us, well, it's already like 10, 11, 12 for a lot of the EU people, so it's already going to be a late night for them. So you try to make an event happen, if that's going to be when you start it, that you kind of want to make it on a Friday or a Saturday, so nobody has to necessarily go to work the next day. At least you hope not. And so, yeah, Misho, take it away, please.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, my name is Misho, and I am the host of Vibe Night, as well as the stream operator. Compared to Placeholder Club and Tailbase, we actually do a bit of a hybrid sort of thing with how our music is played for all of our attendees. The way we do it is we usually have our live DJs play from their Twitch stream, and afterwards, once, they do their Twitch stream, we then swap that over to pre-recorded sets, and I'll get into how we kind of do all that here in a bit. But Vibe Night started way back in June of 2020, so I believe that was already shortly after the pandemic, or if that was last year, I don't even remember. This pandemic has been dragging on for a little too long. Oh yeah, so a little after. But yeah, and we've kind of slowly been growing ever since that time, but have actually been growing much, much more as of late. So I believe we were actually before the first Furality, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Because that was in September or...
No, 2020, I think wasn't it May of last year?
It was around May. September was Friday 2000, which was the second one, I believe.
Yeah,
but 2000 came
Not
after
confusing.
2020, so no, not it. Don't worry.
All right.
I have to double check that every time I think about it.
Yeah, I needed to make sure on my notes as well. But yeah, so we've been around for a little while, but currently we have around 500 plus members in our Discord server, and we host our events basically on the last Saturday of every month. So it's easy for everyone to remember. Starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, so we're more oriented for the Americans on Eastern and Western time zones rather than the Europeans. But Placeholder has taken that place, and they do all those events. What else? Let's see. Our first large milestone actually for Vibe Night was for our anniversary. We reached plenty of record highs for our event and attendees and all the wonderful people that join our event and whatnot as well. But to get back to how we do our music and set everything up, I like to kind of have a I guess, conversation with all of these up here and kind of compare the different ways that we do our music. So like I mentioned, Vibe Night has a way of doing hybrid. So we have a little bit of live sets and we have a little bit of pre-recorded sets. Live sets are obviously sets that are played by our DJs and they do it live right there in person. You get to see them behind the DJ deck doing their thing, mixing their music, all live here for everyone to listen to, dance, and party to. Then we usually swap that over to our pre-recorded sets. Our pre-recorded sets usually take a little bit more time to do since they're obviously not live. Pre-recorded sets are usually made by getting the audio and the visuals from our DJs, putting that into a video editor, kind of crunch that in, and then we render out that whole video. And I'd like to ask how that compares to how you guys do and do your videos and do your events and whatnot.
So like a tailbase. Yeah, like we basically do everything live at Tailbase as much as we can. There's a handful of occasions where if a DJ is like, hey, look, I can't make the schedule. If you've got something pre-recorded or can make something for us, toss it at us and we'll play it back. I actually remember excuse me. The most recent time I remember that actually happening, we had just done Furality Luma. M-Blade found one of his new favorite DJs because he's always been kind of like, man, I want to find some more of just like hard metal and grunge and all that. And then lo and behold, Fetus Grinder happened. And he was like, yes. And so he reached out to Fetus Grinder and asked if he could come into a Tailbase event. He originally could, but then there was like a bit of a scheduling conflict, so he hooked us up with like a new pre-record for that. But yeah, we'll stick on the pre-record versus live stuff for yeah. Karuxa,
yeah.
Could you tell us a little more about how you guys do your hybrid?
Yes. So we started off doing a similar process to Vibe Night, where we would have a full video made for the DJ, where we'd have audio and visuals, and we used that for a couple events, and it was like, for us it was very time intensive and took a long time. So we ended up switching from, because our stream operator suggested something that has turned out to work brilliantly, which is a visualizer called Milk Drop. So what we do now is we'll have that visualizer running on the PC that is streaming the music, and all we need from the DJs is an audio file. So all they do is supply us with an MP3 or something like that, and we can have that on the streaming PC, all lined up in the order that we need them, and then it's just a button press. It starts the set, and then the visuals are all done automatically. So there's no extra time on our part. It's just the setup of the OBS scenes, which is how we go through it.
And can I say you guys have probably my favorite intermission video, which is like, if you guys remember the old DVD menu, it's like the DVD that bounces around and you're always hoping it hits the corner. They did that with the Placeholder Club logo. I love it.
It does hit the corner just very occasionally.
So it does.
It's interesting how that process has changed too, right? Like originally you used to do, the visualizations and run it through software, but it took you like how many hours to prepare for a night? Quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah, it was like an hour per DJ, and we'd have 10 DJs.
Yeah, so it took him 10 hours to get all of that content together. But, moving to this format where the visuals are done live, and then you just use the audio. It's how this stuff works too, right? It's iterative. So you start out with your baseline, and then you're like, well, how do we optimize this? What kind of productivity? And it's especially important for a bi-week. Pretty frequent, especially compared to us.
It was quite full on of it. I mean, to prepare that much time's worth of preparation.
And I help correct out a bunch with right. Do you guys meet a while? Just got there. We went to the stuff.
Yeah, we met randomly.
Infer.
Yes. We met
The new, your original,
while ago.
me by chance. I know, right? How that works. But then, he started organizing the events and asked for some advice, and I'm like, well, hey, I have some experience with that. Let's talk about it. And so it's a process that we've collaborated with. He's reached out to people to get some advice on how to run it best, and have been more than happy to help out with that. I think it's helped your club quite a bit.
Oh yeah, even Roxy, you've
super happy.
Even Roxy, you've helped out with us quite a lot in terms of the streaming side of things, being it's typical tech fox.
And anytime someone's just kind of like, how do you think we could do this? I'm just like, I just start typing out paragraphs like, okay, you're going to want to set up this software, you're going to want to try this, here's a few other things you could try, we've done it this way, we reload this. They're like, all right, we got some decisions to make apparently. It's just like, I'll just lay it on you. I've got no secrets when it comes to streaming. This is all this like stuff that you guys could figure out, but if I'm able to help kickstart you for doing your own stuff, I'd love to help. My only ask is, if you see me just breaking it down at a party, please let's stay talking shop for just a little bit. Let me at least get to the drop, right? And I guess the last thing I could really say about the whole pre-recorded versus live. We'll talk a little bit more about some stuff that happens in the text section and with video players, depending, when you try to play back a file versus or a YouTube link versus trying to do a live stream with Twitch or use a service like VRCDN. We're going to get more to that later. Oh no, I just heard Hectagon Jack scream in my head. Yeah! Hashtag DJ Bluebins. We love you, Jack. Oh, but I should also say, by the way, I want to do this. Hexon Jack, he's the CEO and person that originally put together Hex Furry Fest. It's his thing. He big shout out to him because he just got his first IRL FurryCon DJ gig. That's going to be next weekend. So he's going crazy, and he's like, yeah. And we're super excited for him. And if we can, I'm going to try to help set up. If they're going to allow him stream, I'm going to work with him to try setting up like an instance that we can get his DJ set in, so we can party with him. So the other thing I was really going to.
I don't want to open too much of a tangent, but one of the great greatest things about this entire experience of organizing is seeing and like meeting all these incredible DJs and seeing them grow in the in the VR space, because the pandemic happened. A lot of people were like, well, what are we going to do with our time? And all of a sudden, we start meeting these amazing DJs, and like seriously, like I got to give a call to Kaiju. Like I met him at HFF, and then I got to see him play at Megaplex. I wasn't there at Megaplex. I got to see him on the camera feed. It's just literally bawling. Like it's just the craziest thing seeing people grow. I love it.
And just that, what ended up happening. So during pandemic time and everything, all of us was doing VR. It was a good escape. It helped a lot of us keep our sanity. I can definitely say it kept mine. If we helped keep your guys' sanity a little bit, job, awesome. Like, job done. We have grown and helped as a community, right? That's always a good feeling. That really helps keep us like empowered to keep putting time into this kind of stuff, because it just becomes a feedback loop. It's wonderful. I lost my last thing. That's okay. If I remember it, I will come. Yes, do it, Valen, do it.
No, it's fine. So yeah, Furality has changed quite a bit. Have you heard of us? No, I'm kidding. The first two, so for the first two Furalities, we actually did it live, right? Like Furality 2020, Furality 2000, we had live DJs, right? In like the early tail-based days, it was people used their Twitch streams. And everyone would connect to it through the player in the world, right? And then when they were done, at the time, we hadn't quite figured this function out, but now you could just raid the next DJ. And so you can sequentially plan a night out, and it could be as casual as just doing it that way. But then we started to use other streaming technologies to stream to the same Twitch stream. And then that's what we used for the first couple Furalities. But then, Furality Luma, we moved to pre-recorded sets. But that there were some trade-offs, but the biggest thing that we gained was that you see that amazing light show now. That's all handcrafted. There's a VDJ team. Shout out to Raps, and you're a god. And so they can control each of those lights. I don't know. He's amazing. He's literally a god. But I don't know if you've seen I believe there's a Luma video that kind of shows like a behind the scenes, but he's got a panel and he can individually control every light in that club. It's not light reactive. It's custom tailored, by a visual DJ. So we got that.
He did Luma.
Sorry,
like 3/4 of that live. We had to remember.
Yes.
We had to tell him to go to bed. Like, you need to sleep. You need to stop.
Yeah.
Instead of the 3 days.
He sacrificed
like
his
3
life
days.
force.
Yeah. So on the downside, you don't get the live, things, and DJs have to get their sets prepared ahead of time. They've had their sets completed for like a month. So, the downside of that is, of course, well, what about the newest music and stuff? Like, no one's going to be able to put Squid Games in their set or anything like that, right? Because it's not old. Yeah, things like that. So, there's trade-offs to doing it, but there's other things that you have to do too. Like, in Luma, you remember we had the DJs in the booth, and we used chroma keys to do that, but we changed it this time. Now we're using an alpha mask, but there's a trade-off to do that too. It's more complex to record. You have to have a more specific world that does that. But we have an amazing team, like over 50 people that have just been monumental to building that architecture too, right? To making this what you see today. It's incredible.
Yeah, the DJs have to record their sets, then they get mastered. They've hopefully they're available to also record like an hour of them DJing and to make the hologram. Sometimes, what do you when the DJ has an avatar but they don't have full body? Do you guys bring in what do you call it? Puppeteering? Didn't you guys have a nickname for that?
Oh well. So
You
for
get like
instance,
a ghost full bodyer.
So there's a few DJs that don't have VR, but you know they could get friends. I'll name drop Scaly Bloke. You know he's a desktop user, but you know people can help him. They can use their avatar and puppet them, so that they have a recording to show. It was really important to us. We felt like part of the experience of being in a club at a con was to have the DJ up there. So we wanted to make sure that everybody, and we did everything that we could to help all the DJs get avatars in their booth.
Thanks, Dad. Scaly Bloke. You know what it is.
Okay, I was about
He calls everybody Dad.
Dad of the hour.
If you ever meet Scaly Bloke and he says, "Thanks, Dad," he's not calling you Dad. That's his thing.
Yep.
He just does it.
Everybody. Absolutely everybody.
And yeah, with Furality Legends, it's like everything's even bigger. We've got more people on the crowd cam team, and then we have switchers upstream. We've got Raps, and he's doing all the lighting. We pass that up to like the upper echelon of the actual stream team. This is all going through like an AWS built back end to get all these video feeds back and forth, and there's even transcoding, so it works for not just us, the like PC users. I'm a PC user, master race right there, right? But also it works for the Quest users too, and everybody can be in the same world. Like that's awesome. Like everybody can be in the same world, get the same stream, have a very similar experience. And I mean, how none of us would be here. We've got to give like the biggest shout out to just the entirety of the DevOps team and just like the pillar that it is. Aloe Fox, everybody praise for just a moment. Thank you. He is also probably he's one of our favorite and kick-ass DJs too. So hopefully you guys are in the club and we'll be able to catch his set Sunday night. Yes. And Valent Sunday night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, wait, no, I didn't forget. Yeah. So it's interesting. Little side note on that too. So you notice we changed the way that we worked quite a bit this time actually. So we had 42 DJs at Luma, right? That's a lot. That doesn't even like go into like 12 hours segments. So if you wanted to repeat, you couldn't neatly fit them in together. We dialed it back to 8 DJs a day this time, but we're going to repeat them. But there's some really cool things that we get because of that. We're in an international con, right? Everyone, it doesn't matter what time zone you're in, you could go to Furality. So we identified 3 blocks, like prime slots, throughout time zones throughout the Earth, really. Kind of feels weird saying that, but Europe, America, and Australia. So the first playthrough is in the European time zone, right? So you could see the first 8 in that time. Great. And then also the other cool thing that you get from that is that you could go see other panels at the con too. A lot of people I know lived in the club over the weekend, me included. I left to sleep and I left to eat, and some people didn't even do that. They just stayed there because it was so amazing. But again, just interesting to see how that process has evolved over time. This is something that we wanted to try to see, and we also means that we could spend a lot more time on each individual set now. If there's 24 DJs, then we could spend like extra time to get those refined even more. And I think the results of that speak for themselves in the club.
Yes, I've just had like all this nervous energy built up, and this is like day one. I've got 2 more days of helping on the crowd cam team, and there's tons more. There's tons more to go do, panels to see, music to just ingest. Oh, it's awesome. No, I was going to call you Nova for a second. Valent. Sweet. So yeah, that's Furality Legends for you. Let me. I'm going to jump into some tech about Tailbase. I'm going to hand it over to Roxy and Misho to talk about more about their tech, and then we were going to keep going. So. Yeah, so like I said earlier, basically our tech was like all live with few exceptions. When Tailbase originally got started up, with Mblade, and how he was doing things was he would basically capture DJ's Twitch stream, put it through OBS, and like restream it out to either like like a master Twitch, in this case Tailbase Twitch. At a point in time, Mblade had the Tailbase Cave World developed. It was originally SDK2. Pamamath was one of the largest contributor developers to it. I know there's a number of other people that worked on it too. I'm sorry. I've got a number of names to thank at the end. If your name doesn't come up, please don't hunt me down. Please, I'm trying to thank everyone. Basically, it was an advancement on an event video display as well. So he created a custom OBS overlay that he set up that would put different parts of the OBS output to separate video screens in the world. So if any of you have ever attended like a Tailbase event and been to the Cave World, you know that there's like, it's not just one big screen. It's like there's a middle screen and then there's cool side screens and up in the corner and stuff. Mblade, in his OBS, he has an overlay he does where depending on where he puts other little video sources, they show up specifically in those displays. Furality took that and exploded it. So like all the different displays that you see like in the club world, it's all done in a very similar manner where they have an overlay where they put specific video sources and feeds, and that's how it populates all the different video screens and visualizations in the world. So, and as I put it, then I came along and I made him change his ways a bit. It took a little finagling. So, before, we restreamed from Twitch a bunch, but then I'm just like, hey, it's actually not that hard to set up an RTMP relay server so DJs could directly connect to it, and then we can pull their stream directly, and Mblade would be able to put that into his OBS, and then we'd put it out to Tailbase Twitch. And we try to also like make sure since it's not going to the DJ's personal Twitch, we try to make sure that they get credited, so there'd be like a little ticker at the bottom, or like their Twitter or Twitch URL somewhere on there. And I would say this brought the first extreme reduction to latency when it comes to like getting the feed from DJ to dance attendee. So before, when you were just restreaming Twitch and everything, you had to deal with the latency of the DJ to Twitch, Twitch to you, and then you back out to Twitch. Maybe there's some other internet shenanigans going on. I always say the internet is a can of worms. That probably took latency from like, for a DJ to attendee, dancer, 45 to 90 seconds, down to like, a lot of times 30 or less. Pretty big jump. Then we went even further. I came across a project called VRCDN, and they've got this purpose-driven, awesome content delivery network platform. Like, they're kind of like, hey, do you want to run a VR event and get the video into your attendees at like the lowest latency and the highest quality audio? Hook into us. That could actually bring the latency down to like several seconds, if not on like when everything is, the planets align, less than a second. It is possible. So next thing we did, we wanted a way to run a crowd cam feed, and we were inspired by a number of worlds that had that feature built into it. And so that's when we initially tapped Pamamath, because he's been involved in developing camera systems in worlds and everything for a while. And so we asked him, can this be applied to an avatar? And thus, portable crowd cam was created, and that's what we know and love as the Tailbase Tatum dude now. There was additional development to him and design help by Cute the Sylvian. Originally, we also got some nice avatar design help from Alon the Cookie Dragon. Shout out. Love you, Alon. And then we have plans to do some updates to Tailbase, including making the public version of the Tailbase avatar. And you guys might have been able to pop in like a couple weeks ago. Mblade was able to run a Tailbase night with the almost complete SDK3 version of the Tailbase cave. It's got Texelsor's video player now. It's like huge improvement. I love it. There's all sorts of other shenanigans that's being programmed in. Huge shout out to Draken Stark. He's been doing the whole SDK 2 to 3 conversion, getting help from a couple other devs, including Pam, and it's just turning out awesome. The size of Tailbase Cave has been cut down by like almost 50%. It used to be over 100 meg. Now I think it's like around 50, 60 megabytes. Not bad. And so yes, it's almost complete. Super excited. So let me pass over to Misho to talk about Vibe Night tech.
Right. So Vibe Night, when we first initially started, was a very small event. We obviously didn't have a lot of publicity. We didn't have many people. And Vibe Night actually really just started out as a night where we can just get a bunch of friends and just hang out and have a party, dance to music, and just have a good time. So initially, we decided, okay, let's just make sets. And those sets would literally just be a YouTube video, get that YouTube video in, and put it into the video player of the world. Now, as you can expect with video players in VRChat, as we all know and love them so much, they're not that good. Sometimes they break and they crash and desync and everything. So to fix that issue, we decided, hey, let's not use YouTube videos. Why don't we just stream our videos? So that's something newer that we've actually done, and that is something we actually didn't really implement till around August of this year. So we're actually very, very new to the streaming space, unlike Tailbase and Placeholder, in which they've been streaming literally just about everything there. We've recently gotten into that, and basically the way that we do it now is we have that whole set and we put it in, like I mentioned earlier, and we just kind of put it into the stream and it plays. And this helps a lot with latency. You don't get very much latency through the streams. And latency for us is usually between, I want to say, 12 to 28 seconds, which isn't too bad, but obviously we're always trying to find ways to optimize and improve. And we're actually planning and kind of in the talks with Roxy to try and get us set up with a VC CDR and VC. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I'm like VRCDN. My apologies. And trying to get that all set up so that way we can cut that latency time even more and hopefully just have a better experience for all of our attendees. Vibe Night Tech honestly isn't too crazy. It's nothing too extravagant, unlike these wonderful people here. I honestly am not a very technical person, but I've made it work and it works. So yeah, it's not too bad. To render our pre-recorded sets, that usually takes around 3 to 4 hours with our new upgrades that we have and just optimizing the videos that we create along with PC upgrades, hardware upgrades, and all that kind of stuff. And it's made our job of actually putting everything together for the live stream much, much easier. And really, to get a whole Vibe Night set up and ready to go, all it takes is having the DJs send us their pre-recorded stuff, if they're doing pre-recorded, and then literally just having our live DJs set up and ready to go and just play them live, basically. So we're basically, like I think Roxy said, we basically restream our live DJs and whatnot. So obviously that causes a little bit of latency, but for us, we've seen that it's usually a bit better and people are usually able to catch up to the stream. And past that, yeah, that's basically it. We don't really do anything too complicated. However, our methods of running our streams and our events have proven to work, and we will continue to do so and obviously optimize and make all of that better for everyone here. I would like to now pass that over to Karuxa, since I believe it is now their turn.
Yeah,
Yes.
we started off in a very similar situation where, like, I think it was just our first event, maybe the second, I can't quite remember, where it was individual videos uploaded where I would take the audio from the DJ and run it through the program called Virtual DJ. And it has built-in visualizations inside it. And I would record that in OBS, upload that to YouTube, and then for maybe just the first event, we would take each individual link and load it into the video player, which, like Mishi was saying, can cause problems because VRChat video players are inconsistent at best.
Yeah, and just to really quick kind of describe one of the problems would be is like if you'd use a YouTube playlist or a video or even a video file, if you were hosting like an MP4 file from your own server and you play it in, what oftentimes would happen is somebody would come in late, the file's been playing for 30 minutes, they'd come in and it would start playing from the beginning of the file for that new attendee that just joined. And then all of a sudden it seems like it would like skip ahead a minute at a time at various times until it eventually catches up. We don't have that issue with when we use streaming.
Yeah. And another problem with that we encountered after we changed, maybe from the second event onwards, we changed to a streaming format where we would still use the YouTube videos, but we wouldn't be directly loading them into the player in the world. We'd have the videos being played on a PC that would stream that to Twitch, and that Twitch link would be what we put into the video player. But before we did Twitch, we tried YouTube, and that was a mistake because we got DMCA'd and taken down halfway through the event. So,
Don't use YouTube for organizing your nights.
No, Twitch has been great. Twitch has been great. And so that was our development from there, was going, having a streaming format, which is because the first event had a lot of people, second event had a lot of people, and we started thinking we need to prioritize being able to have a second instance to spread the load out and let people have more of an enjoyable time. It was definitely good that we got that sorted, because the events are too big now. Like, we can't have everything in one world. It just wouldn't work. So now once we got the streaming back end set up, we could move on to prioritizing other kind of optimizations, like I mentioned earlier, where we stopped using the pre-recorded videos, like visuals. I just get the DJs to send me their audio files, which we then run through a live visualizer on the night, and that would give us better results, as well as just completely slashing the time that it took to prepare a weekend by hours. It went from like 10 hours of preparation to being like 30 minutes. And then we then contacted you, because we wanted some optimization on the amount of time it takes for us on the latency between what the streaming PC sees and what we see in world, because it helped us organize the DJs. Because the way we work is we have the pre-recorded set, we'll have the people in the world with us, the DJ that's currently playing, and they will stand on the stage at Club Orion and personalize their set by controlling the lights and stuff like that, which it's the reason we use that world. It's fantastic. And having a shorter delay between when the last set ends and the next set begins and what we see allows us to just move the DJs on, get it sorted, get it done quick. And you thankfully helped us with that, because I don't understand any of it. You helped my stream operator massively in getting that implemented. But it was just basically an evolution of efficiency. That's the best thing I can recommend.
I was able to help.
Yeah, just if you're making your own event, just think about what's taking up time that shouldn't have to take up that much time. That was a lesson that Valorant taught me and drilled into me. and that's why our events run smoother than they ever have, thankfully.
I've been loving them. We're getting close on our time, guys. So,
yes.
Go Valorant.
I was literally gonna say just automate it like it's Factoria, but anyways.
We're getting kind of close to our time, so let me kind of just a quick point of clarification to how some stuff works. Basically DJ to like your OBS master. That's you want to do a relay, and then from your OBS master to your attendees, that typically will go through something like VRCDN, which acts as a content delivery network. It's like it's the last mile. Get it, get everything distributed. That's what the CDN part stands for, content delivery network, right? So it gets it to everybody as good and quality and fast as possible, and it works amazing. Like shout outs to the team over there, Jazzy and Clue. They've got a Discord, they've got a website. Hit them up. It's an awesome project. If you want to do your own stuff, I highly recommend using them. Even if you're just starting, they've got like I think it's like almost like a $1 tier to let you try out like doing 5 streams at up to like support 5 people at a time just to do some test stream kind of thing. It lets you do relays, it lets you do guest keys, it lets you forward to Twitch. It's heckin' awesome. But yeah, so that's how all that works. What I'd like to do, wish I had more time, but let's just jump down to our thank yous. People in Tailbase. Oh my gosh, can I do this quick enough? Let's see, Emblay, Drakenstark, Pamamath, Cute the Sylvian, Texelsort, everybody at Virtual Harbor, TechCast Pork, Cloudgasm, GP Lord Lannon, Cian Lore, Rye-Tailed, Chris Devious, Fextafox, Reveille, everyone that's been a coordinator and a world master. And I love you, Buru. Happy birthday. Correxa? Yes. Yeah. Oh, we do. Oh, we've got 10 more minutes.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I was looking at the clock and freaking out. Okay.
Yeah, let's finish
slow
acknowledgements
down.
and let's do that.
I will slow down. Yes, extra big thank you to Buru Tatsu, the German Power Hour DJ, the Big Blue Dragon, yes. Cyber Dragon. If it had not been for becoming friends with him last year and then him just being like, hey, you want to help me with some like stream stuff, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have started this journey for sure. So yes, thank you. That's the tail-based bit. Correxa, you have a number. Everybody has people to thank, please. Correxa, yes. Lead the way.
Well, Dutch Fox, he gets his big special thank you for being there from the start and just being a good support, being a good bouncer during the DJ nights and helping me coordinate the DJs. Got to give one to Shade the Black Wolf, who's done a lot of, he's supported with hardware, setting up the website, everything. We run remote PCs through his stuff in Germany. It's been like invaluable. He's been so good. Blitz to our stream operator for setting pretty much everything up by hand. Just is fantastic. They've done all the scripting, all the little bouncy things you saw around the stage. All of them. It was all them. It was fantastic. Special thanks to you, Valent, for being a massive help and being a voice of reason in my ear during all of it, and very much needed. You, Roxy, for setting us up with VRCDN and helping us get our stream optimized and the settings and the encoding. It made it run a lot smoother. It was, it was required. We needed it. So thank you very much for that. And big thank you to Mblade for just being the catalyst for the whole because we came out of Tailbase. If it wasn't for Mblade starting that, we wouldn't be here. So thank you, Mblade. Thank you very much. And then all of my support staff on PHC. Thank you very much for helping me. Like you, Ska. And you, Cookie.
Check in.
And then I'll move on to you, Valent.
Is it my turn? Oh, yeah. I'll go last. Yeah. Go ahead, Misho.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, if you want me, okay, all right. I'm not complaining. Wow. Okay, I have a decently sized list here. Oh boy. I'd like to say thank you to Mick Amnesia for. Oh, well, that's good that we have time. I'd like to say a big thank you to Mick Amnesia, Celio65, Twisted Tales, Jax the Shep, Mystery, Spoopy, Inferno, Suflo, Sarge, Memory, and Fonks. Without any of them, I would not be able to run this event. They all partake in different roles in doing our event being instance owners, making sure people are, being decent human beings at the club, and just overall making sure that everything's working on the technical side as well. They recently helped us with an Avatar Halloween costume contest that we had at our previous Halloween Vibe Night, and we made that run absolutely phenomenally. And I honestly can't thank them enough for being there and just helping me out with everything, because I know, sure as hell know, that I would not be able to do this event just by myself. So I really can't thank them enough, and they are truly some wonderful people. And now you, Valen.
I'd really like to thank, all the staff at Furality. They've worked so hard in this event. It's just amazing what this team has been able to accomplish. You see it around you every time. I think everyone that's been a Luma, feels the sort of the weight of how special that was. I don't know about you, but I had PCD all Monday. I just stayed on the couch all day and couldn't function. It was it was bad. I would like to thank Aloe Fox especially for all that he's done. He's been pretty instrumental on the music side of things, and I appreciate him, M-Blade, and the rest of the staff for trusting me with my role as DJ coordinator. It's an absolute honor. It's been a privilege to work with all the DJs and represent a significant part of the fandom in in music. Music's such a big part of our community. I'm absolutely honored. I'd really also like to thank Dalton for pursuing this vision, essentially, because I know that the original Furality was a major turning point for a lot of people, because a lot of us, the pandemic happened, and I don't know about anyone else, but I was stuck at home for months, and I didn't, I couldn't go out and see my friends. I couldn't go to cons. It was awful. So I'm infinitely grateful to Dalton for pursuing this idea of organizing a con, and just the proof's in the pudding, right? Everyone just started to congregate, started to organize into this team, and then what you see is what's been created. And now we're by attendance, we're one of the largest cons in the world. So again, it's still hard to believe. It's incredible. So and thank you all. I want to thank all of you for making it that way too, and for helping to support us to our charities, and our team through that process. And I can't thank you enough.
So yes, I'd love to turn it over to questions now. You guys, the easiest way to find most of us is going to be our Discord communities, right? Tailbase, Placeholder, Vibe Night. Well, you don't call it the Vibe Night community. It's really called what?
Well, we call it the Misha's Fish Aquarium because basically everyone's in there.
There you go.
It's basically our hub for Vibe Night and everything, so it's the same thing, just about.
It's not too hard to find us. So with that, and when's next placeholder?
The 20th of this month.
When's the next Vibe Night?
Hold on, I need to pull it up. I don't remember. The 27th of November.
Okay.
I know it's the last Saturday of every month, but that doesn't mean I remember the day it's on. Or the date.
and a shout out and for the upcoming Hex Furry Fest 4, that's going to be, if I remember right myself, December 10th through 12th. All right. Thank you all. With that, if we'd love to be able to open up to some questions. Voices in our head.
What do we do?
How do we do that?
What do we do, magical beings of Furality?
Okay, do you want to tell them that, or should we tell them that?
I think everybody hears them, right?
Do they? I don't know. No, they don't. They don't
no,
hear.
no,
Should
they
we tell
don't?
them
Oh,
that?
okay.
We should tell them.
If you'd like to ask a question, just walk up and stand on top of the emblem in front of the stage, and then we will be able to hear
one
you.
at a time. Yeah. If no one comes up with like, oh no, what did I do?
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Is my mic working? Besides me crashing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
So, okay, so let me just be honest. I don't know any of this shit. I'm not this furry type. I've only been playing VRChat for 2 months, but that's besides the point. I don't understand any of the stuff that's going on here, but I have a question for you guys' tech that you have going on here. So,
Sure.
My question is, it seems like you guys put a lot of effort into like, this whole like streaming stuff you did. So, the question is, did you ever have a roadblock where you're like, man, I don't think I can keep doing this code. I think I'm gonna drop it. Did you ever have like a bad roadblock when you were trying to make this, streaming shit work?
That's every Furality ever. Okay, it's a lot of work. It's a tremendous
This is my first time being
amount
here,
of work.
so.
Dude, I've been awake like every night for the last like 5 days until 5 in the morning preparing, and that's just me. There's like more than 50 staff working on it too, doing working hard to get all the worlds done. The events team, etc. They just a tremendous amount of time gets poured into events like these. It's crazy.
Uh,
Good
Have
question.
you ever hit any roadblocks, Roxy?
Oh, so that's sorry. Mostly, until I just kind of hit that point a couple months ago, where I just like I really need to take a break. Sometimes it's just been the only roadblock is I have to go to sleep sometimes. That has always been like my major roadblock. That's like
biggest inconvenience.
right, sleep. It's
Well,
like
I
if
slept
I
3
didn't,
hours
if I
last
didn't
night to
have to
make it here,
sleep,
so.
if I could make this a job, I would totally be doing it 24/7. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Karuxa?
I've not hit any yet. Not fatigued enough yet with Placeholder, but we'll probably hit that point eventually.
Honestly, haven't necessarily had major roadblocks. We've had issues with some things crashing and not working during event, but usually it's pretty minor things that we've been able to fix, and basically our goal right now is just optimizing everything. So nothing too major just yet. Fingers crossed nothing too bad happens.
Thank you for the question.
all right, good. I hope we used the
I hope we
restroom. I've
answered
been waiting
it.
an hour.
Do we have any other takers? Any other questions?
Any other? Lixie, what do you have one? Come on, don't be shy.
I guess it's more. It's more of a question for everyone. But how do people get access to Tailbase or Placeholder Club or Misho's Vibe Night?
Should we just go across from Misha?
Yeah.
I guess I'll start off. So a few ways that you guys can join is if you look at my user profile, I have all the information there. So I have the Twitter along with a link tree. You guys are able to put that link in and put it into your web browser. It'll take you to basically all of the social medias that we run. And to get access to the Discord, all you got to do is go ahead, click the link, and join. And basically, that's it. You're in, and you'll be getting announcements whenever we have a Vibe Night or any other event. So, but on to Roxy.
Easiest for me and us and everything would just be hit up the website tailbass.com, TAILBASS, not tailbass, tailbass, and that's going to have the link to like the Twitter, the Discord, the Twitch stream. The best thing to do is like hit up the Discord, because also we've got a Discord where once you like pass the little verification check thing like we've got set up and agree to the rules essentially, then there's the option to also sign up for event notifications, so that when we're tossing a world up for anybody to join that goes along with any kind of stream, you'll get a ping, you'll get a notification badge.
Yep. So easiest way to find Placeholder would be go to placeholderclub.com, and we have access to our Discord from there. And the Discord is where everything is announced. The world links are posted, lineups and posters are posted there. We do have a Twitter, but it's not as good for receiving information. It's just somewhere we will put out our lineups for the next event and such. So yeah, the website placeholderclub.com is by far the easiest place to get into the Discord and find access, like information channels, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Thank you.
No,
Furality.org. If you're here, I'm assuming you know about us.
It's like I knew.
It's a pretty safe assumption at this point, right? Furality.org. /register. But if you're all familiar with the con structure, that's kind of the way to figure out when our events are happening. You can look at us, Furality Club Fin, I believe, on YouTube is where we post the sets from Luma. We're gonna finish working on those, and we'll get the new sets up there as soon as we can. Your patience is appreciated.
There's a lot to do. I'm sure people understand.
Cool.
But thank
you
you
guys.
Thank you. Two GitHub projects I just want to toss out there for like the do-it-yourselfers, if you just kind of want to experiment, for just messing around with like if you know GitHub, you know a little bit of Linux, or you use what's the thing called, the little packaging thing. I always forget what it's called. It's not virtualization. Shoot, it's slipping my mind right now. Node Media Server, check that out. You could use it as a relay. You could do a bunch of stuff with it. Also, if you're looking for a remuxer, something to mess with going from like RTMP to RTSP protocols, check out Simple RTSP Server. Highly recommend messing with those. They're awesome tools if you're going to try it yourself. We're at our time. We're about to go out.
So the thing, I think I see you guys lined up to ask questions, right? We could still answer those after we're not live
Yeah, we'll
anymore,
stay
right?
for a little while.
Yeah. Okay. Voice in head.
So
the time has happened. What do we do now?
They've abandoned
Maybe I
us.
was just crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
seriously?
We have more time.
Oh, wow.
What?
They just keep giving us more.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I hope you guys are having fun. with
Thank
your
you.
parents
Thank
staying.
you.
Icestock, are you standing in line to ask a question?
Let's go.
Yeah. Come on up.
Yeah. Hey, so this is a question sort of for Roxy in particular. I've
Sure, what's up?
I've participated in a few since you seem to sort of be like the technical, guru here. When you're streaming, I've done a few DJ events before, and I've never really been sure how to set up my like bitrate. Like, is there any way to like figure it out other than just sort of guessing and checking it, or is there like general rules of thumb for how you should go about it?
Super easy. First thing you want to do is make sure your ISP isn't lying to you about your upload speed. Just use you can use like speedtest.net, or you could use the one that Netflix always uses is called fast.com, if I remember right.
That's correct.
And that you want to see what your upload speed is for your internet connection, and then you can sort of base your bit rate on that. So I'm assuming you will usually be streaming to Twitch.
Yeah, typically.
And then, which of the 3 tiers are you? Are you just a regular user? Are you affiliate? Are you partner?
I'm just a regular user. Yeah.
Regular user? Then regular user can get away with like up to 6 megabit. Because you're not affiliated or partnered, they won't auto transcode to different bit rates and resolutions for you. It happens every now and then, though. If like the service is freed up, you've got enough people watching you, they'll be like, "Yeah, we'll do some transcoding. We'll make a 720 and a 360p version for you there." So that's usually how that works. But yeah, general rule of thumb, what I would say is like, if you want to target 1080p. If you're DJing, stick with 30 frames a second. Like, stick with the 30 FPS. It's also much more compatible if you're planning to put your stream into a VRChat world, for that matter. Actually, good rule of thumb, if you're going to be using a Twitch stream or just about anything, aim for 720p, 30 FPS. 1080 and 60 FPS. 60 FPS can be problematic. 1080p, it's a hit or miss. It's a hit or miss. That's one of the reasons, actually, I believe we have the 720p and 1080 options in Club Fin. Sometimes 1080 is fickle. It's just one of those things. But yeah, if you're trying to target 1080p, if you're going to Twitch, 5,000 to the 6,000 on the upper. Otherwise, if you're going to aim for 720p, anywhere between like 2,500 to 4,000 is probably going to look pretty good, especially if you don't have a lot of moving, fast-moving stuff happening. Like if you're playing Beat Saber, different story. Then you want to do high frame rate, as much bit rate as you can, and whatnot. Other couple recommendations. AMD versus NVIDIA. NVIDIA every time. If you're going to use an NVIDIA card for video encoding, you want an NVIDIA card with an NVENC. AMD, they have an encoder, it's not there yet. Now, if you've got an AMD CPU or an Intel CPU with too many cores than what you know to do with, like we're talking, the 12 and the 16 type of stuff, you have the option to use software encoding, which would, if you look at the advanced encoder settings in like OBS Studio, for example, you'd have the option to switch between NVENC for NVIDIA or X264. That will be the software encoder. And then you can do your advanced options, constant bit rates, your 2500s, your 4000s, 6000s, etc. Don't set that higher than what your internet connection is. You're going to end up with buffering issues. So, and always leave yourself some overhead. So let's say you have let's say you only have a 5 megabit internet connection. Probably don't set your stream higher than 3,000 or 3 megabits. You want a little bit of overhead, especially if you might have roommates that are also using the internet. Yeah, and then otherwise, like if you're just trying to get something going, the other default settings that they have there built in should get you going pretty straight away.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for the question. Oh no, I'm being attacked by the floor monster.
no.
Hi, Roxas.
Oh. No, go ahead.
All right, we can't
What's up?
communicate back there. You can't hear us. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up the question. Okay, so I guess a question from Gizmo on Twitch was, what's your guys' favorite thing about putting together Furality?
Ooh. Could I answer that?
Yes, please.
Representative.
It's hard to pick, but honestly, it's a tie between building up. Well, again, keep in mind I'm on the DJ coordinator side of things, right? I love seeing the DJs grow. Like I talked about Kaiju, in the beginning. There are just so many other examples. Warned one. You've grown so much in 6 months. It's incredible. And there's so many more. There's that, and then number 2 is just seeing the positive impact it has on just their furry community and how it's
the positive.
Yeah,
Positive.
how it's changed. Yeah, the positive. Well, like, you know, it's I don't know if anyone saw, but like the VR meetup room at BLFC was just packed wall to wall. Think about it. A year ago, none of those people, well, you know, those people wouldn't have probably known each other, not nearly as much as they do now. So that's something that we can attribute to, you know, to VR. And I'd like to think that, well, that we've had a positive impact on that, you know, by bringing people together.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I guess I'll give it up to Kazoo.
Nice shirt.
I'm scared what question's going to be asked.
All right, the first question is from your friends. All right, everyone wants to know this question because they ask you all the time. We're gonna ask it.
I think I'm going to have to leave this panel now. Goodbye, everyone. Bye. Have a good time.
You should get back on. Second question is more of just sorry, go ahead. When is Vibe Night, Nico?
I would like. Okay, I'm gonna explain. Okay, basically, there's an inside joke in my community where everyone absolutely loves to ask me when Vibe Night is. Now, see, the issue with asking me when Vibe Night is that Vibe Night is already on the last Saturday of every month. You should know this. Come on. You don't have to keep asking me every other day. All right, sorry. Anyways, next question.
Okay, second question is just out of my own curiosity. Is down to all the respective clubs and events. Do you think there will ever be a sort of like an exchange event of sorts? So what I'm saying is like, Misho, perhaps you could perform in Placeholder, and then another DJ from Placeholder will perform in Tailbase, you know, and it kind of rotates. I know time difference is going to be a big issue, but you know, sometimes like me, I don't really have time to go on VR, so the most of the events I go to is just Vibe Night. So, you know, if these DJs were to rotate and stuff like that, the different people from their different respective parties will be able to see what the other events can offer.
Yeah,
Well-
we share a lot of DJs between us anyway as clubs. Like a lot of DJs that are at Tailbase, we have a few of them on our DJ roster,
Oh yeah, for
which
sure.
is across two different time zones as well.
Yeah. We definitely want to encourage.
I'm sorry.
We want to encourage DJs to apply, you know, to as you know, as many events as they can, you know, and continue to, you know, refine their craft and, you know, find their, you know, their passions in music for sure. Because we try to, well, we owe it to all the DJs in the fandom to, you know, to just be, you know, to be as fair about, you know, placing them in our events, because I mean, let's face it, they're amazing and they've earned that.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, you're welcome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the question.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
all DJs. We've always, I think all of our communities have always just kind of like had open door, like just if the DJ wants to join up on the Discord or that community, is like they do, and then usually what we all do, I think, is like when there's going to be the next DJ night or whatever, we usually put kind of like a call out to people that might be just signed up for like maybe a sub DJ channel kind of thing, and so then everybody kind of gets a free for all to be like, oh, I want to take, would you take me? And then just depending on scheduling and other random factors, sometimes that creates a lineup eventually. Yeah.
Get on the Discord of these respective events, because they'll have an application section on, you know, they put out an event, and that's essentially the way the model works, right? As an organizer, you say, I'm going to put on this event, and then the DJs apply to it. So, you know, get in as many groups as you can, and that will definitely increase the number of chances that you have to get on an event.
If I may have a second, just if we're still on, if we got a minute, just to everybody watching, to all our friends, to everybody that's come out to any of our nights, it's the Brewmeister. If everyone's got a drink, tink tink.
Happy birthday, Brew.
Happy birthday, Brew.
Happy birthday.
All right, voice in our
yeah,
head.
that's
The
good
timer
stuff.
has counted down again. What do we do now?
No response.
I think he's left us. Maybe we're just imagining the whole thing.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
All right, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have
Thank
a great
you for
time in
coming.
Furality Legends.
Yes, enjoy the club.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have fun.